Go on.
And hi, everybody. This is Craig with Out on Film, and I want to welcome all of you to another Out on Film Conversations with the team of As I Am. So we're thrilled to have everybody here, and I am going to turn this over to our host for this conversation, Miko Evans from our media partner, Meek Productions. So Miko, I will turn this over to you.
Thank you so much, Craig. And as always, it is a fabulous pleasure to once again be before your video screens wherever you're viewing us. Of course, this is Miko Evans. I'm the CEO of the world's first LGBT exclusive talent agency and production company known as Meek Productions Incorporated. We've been the official, our media division has been the official media partners for Out on Film for the past 8 years. And we're so proud to be a part of their very first virtual edition of the 33rd annual Out on Film, Atlanta's largest LGBT film festival. It is with great pleasure for me to host the Q&A of this fabulous independent film band called As I Am, produced, of course, and directed by my boy, Anthony Bawn. Like I was saying before we went live, we've been Facebook friends for the longest. And we just never had a chance to really connect on a deeper level and stuff until today. So what's going on, Anthony?
Good. How are you, sir?
All is well, man. I mean, I'm just so excited on a successful film. This presentation is just so beautiful. I mean, from even when when the film first came on and the logo and everything like that. And I'm like, and then the cinematography of the whole city. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the artistic nude visuals. And then the fact that you started off the film with spoken word, which is wonderful. I mean, you have the whole package in this film. So like I said, I'm excited to talk about it. So before we get started, I would like to also welcome some of the cast members from this fabulous film. We have, of course, Jeremiah Dunbar, who of course plays Demetrius. Say hello. We have also Tom McLaren, which plays one half of your parents. Say hello, Tom.
Hi, everybody.
And of course, we have the legendary Brother Rodney Chester. Many people know him from the historic series Noah's Ark. What's going on, Rodney?
Hello. How you doing?
All is well. So happy to have every last one of you here for this special Q&A of the film As I Am. But Anthony, we're going to actually start with you. Tell our audience a little bit about your background, and then we're going to get into the inspiration of the film.
Okay. Yeah, I went to school for theater, so I'm a theater nerd, and I got my degree in musical theater. So I also am a musical theater nerd. So I that's just my humble beginnings. I've been doing it since I was in the second grade. So it's like anything artistic wise and acting and singing and all that stuff is just comes natural to me. But yeah, I'm here for the arts. I love the arts, and I love telling these types of stories because I feel like, in media, it's not necessarily depicted in a way that is told from our own voice. And I love the fact that I'm able to have that opportunity to tell our own story in my own way with my own voice.
Absolutely. What was your inspiration behind doing this particular film? Because I love the various messaging that is presented throughout the film. So tell us a little bit about the inspiration in telling this particular story.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a young man because I did mentoring for acting at a middle school back in Maryland, and I was talking to, it was a group of kids. One of the little boys, he was awkward and he was getting picked on a little bit by the students. So we have these moments in every class. I have these moments where I sit people down individually and just talk to them, because sometimes kids in this generation, they see and go through so much stuff that we didn't go through in our generation. So now I feel that the story, he told me something that he was molested by his biological father at a younger age. So I then took that and made it this, I crafted a story around it. I didn't necessarily want to have his name in it or put his his name in it, but I wanted to make a story and tell a story that showcase this in a different light, because a lot of people don't see those type of individuals who have gone through issues, who have issues, and then they are, how do they deal with those issues? So just adding the entertainment element on top of the true to life story is how I came about. It took me about a year to develop the script. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I want to also recognize one of the other cast members that just joined us, the one that plays
Piper?
Manny's mom. Miss Piper is in the house. Say hello, darling.
How is everyone? Oh, Anthony, we're so proud of you. Congratulations. Congratulations, Jeremiah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of the 33rd annual Out on Film. I want to actually get into, before we kind of get into some of the meat of the story, I want to go down the line through all of the cast members. What was it that drew each of you to this particular project? Let's start, Piper, since you just came on, and since ladies are first, ladies first, ladies first. Let's go ahead and start with you, Piper. What was it that inspired you to be a part of this project?
Well, I think it's important for us to get to the center and the heart of a nation that has not recognized the face and imprint of God in all aspects of love and being. I think it's important that we lift up these rocks and sort of clip the heads of all of these serpents that are denying that love is love. That was the first thing. Anthony really was the wind under the wings of that. It was a real simple introduction, but I think it was a necessary introduction, not even knowing that we were about to be ushered into this season where our breath was going to be taken away by epidemics and pandemics. And so we're now seeing that the rise of this level of ignorance and bigotry, things are being hidden under stone, abuses, child abuses, same-sex domestic violence issues. And just the fact that we have lost our ability to embrace and cater all aspects of humanity, human dignities, human justice. So, all of that, of course, we want there to be a voice for love in a society that seems to not bear witness to love. So if you're not bearing witness to love, you're not bearing witness to God. So thank you, Anthony, for ushering that in. So I said yes to love, and I also said yes to the fact that we are all survivors of some aspect of violence, abuse, and trauma. And there is we hold these things in secrecy as people of color, as LGBTQ community. We're not allowed to have a voice of truth to say, this has happened to me. I need assistance. I'm here. Love me, see me. So how could you not want to be a part of something like that?
Beautiful. That was a beautiful, beautiful explanation of that. Let's go down to Jeremiah, since you play one of the co-featuring roles and stuff. Talk about what drew you to this particular project. And as a matter of fact, is this your first film, by the way, Jeremiah?
It would be my first film where I'm the lead in, yes.
Oh, wow. Yes. Awesome.
You get your hair did?
Yeah, I'm getting my hair done.
That is so funny. I just saw that. I was like, wait a minute.
I got stuff to do later today, so you know what I'm saying?
He has an entourage, and so they're always around him.
Oh.
Piper said it perfectly. Honestly, I get a whole bunch of people in my DM saying, "Hey, you changed my life. You let me come out of the box that I was in and things like that." And that's exactly what I did it for, because I wanted to people know, like, you know what I'm saying, show them it's okay to be them, no matter where they come from, no matter what happened to them. It's always a good thing to just be yourself. And I saw that in the story. And also I can see how passionate Anthony was about the story and everything. So he came to me and he said, "Hey, I have this project." And I saw it in his eyes that he really wanted to make a change. And I was like, let's make a change then.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's go down to both Tom and, of course, Rodney. The role that you all played as gay parents who have, of course, adopted this wonderful young man. Tell us a little bit about not only what drew you to the project, but the part that you all could relate to as it relates to the characters that you played.
You want to go first, Tom?
Well, okay, I'll be quick. I was drawn to the project because I just quite simply fell in love with this character. Charles is such a great guy, and it was so obvious on the page that the part is so well written. When I auditioned for Anthony, I didn't see the full script. I only saw that very first scene, which is me and Rodney in the kitchen, and Jeremiah and Andre are coming out in the morning, the morning after whatever happened. And there's such humor and warmth, and there's teasing, but it's a loving kind of teasing. Yeah. So I think what Rodney and I have here is, we're very positive role models, and we've raised Jeremiah to be a wonderful young man. So I love what Anthony's presented here with this family of three. He does reference that we've all went through turmoil. Rodney and I, obviously grew up in a time when it wasn't so fashionable to be an interracial gay couple. Absolutely. So we have survived trauma, but we've done our best to survive and thrive, and we've done our best to raise Jeremiah in a proper manner and raise him to be a wonderful young man. So I love the positive message that Anthony's presented for this family, and that's what really meant a lot to me to do the film.
That part. That part. Go ahead, Rodney. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, what were you gonna say?
No, because I was gonna say about you. It's like when the scene first introduced you, baby, and you just held that coffee cup. Good morning. I'm like, baby, if that wasn't a Noah's Ark throwback, I was like, no, he didn't. He had to put that Rodney spin on that character. I just love it. I just had to give you props on that.
Thank you. Well, I think from the beginning, Anthony had shared with me that he was a fan of my work, and he said that he wanted to put me in something. So he called, and he sent me the stuff, and I really like what I like. Honestly, it's so great to see the millennials now and these kids coming through, and they're telling their stories, and they're and it's meaningful to them, and I just appreciate that this is what's happening now. So when I read it, I saw, and I loved it because it was different, because it was an interracial couple, and it was regarding adoption and how we tried to raise our son. So all of that meant a lot to me as far as being that character, and I felt, as Tom said, what we tried to put forth is just that we were going to let our son be who he is, but still try to teach him guidance. Absolutely. So I think that the great message and the meaning behind it, to where it escalates into the abuse and all that stuff like that through the other storylines. I just thought it was a great film, and I was happy to be a part of it.
Yes, that was one of the other things that I really loved about the way, Anthony, that you actually just put all topics and all issues that many members of the LGBTQ community go through, especially when it comes to gay adoption. And I love the fact with the two characters that toward that particular piece, where you allowed them to explain that there's a lot of stereotypes that's around, not just being black and gay, being in interracial dating and stuff, but even around being gay parents and gay parents adopting children. And the fact that you even covered that was really, really wonderful, and I love the artistic way that you did it. I want to recognize the star of the show. Andre is on.
Hey guys.
Hi, Andre. Hi.
What's up?
Hey, Andre.
Oh, so glad to have you online. Thank you so much for joining this Q&A. And as I was asking everybody, what was their inspiration in being part of the film, by you being the star, one of the stars, actually, tell us a little bit about what drew you to this particular project and what drew you to the character.
Well, once I read it, I had already saw all the layers that this character had. Like, it was a very complex character because of the trauma he's been through, because of the way that he was brought up with his family, and his mom not really being the mom that he needed. She was very all over the place. I just really like playing full body characters. And I think that's what Anthony wrote, a really great character that has all these layers, and you're kind of seeing him unpack a little bit, along the way. And yeah, I mean, that's really what drew me to it. I love taking on stories that I don't always see portrayed. And I think that this is a storyline that I haven't seen in a very long time.
Wow, awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that too. I mean, everyone did an actually fabulous job in their characters and in their roles. And Anthony, I definitely would want to commend you because once again, like I stated before, the fact that you was able to put so many of our issues into this film, and you did it in such a awesome and artistic way was just so phenomenal. One of the things that really got me, because I had to make sure I kind of press rewind a little bit because there was so many wonderful moments in this film. I had to do a double take. But what really is wonderful at the end was the statement that Jeremiah's character said during the time when Manny had his when he crashed the reception. Baby, when he crashed the reception, baby, and after having so many about 5 drinks or something at the bar, and the sage advice that he took from, of course, Kobe at the bar and stuff. But I love the fact that Jeremiah's character said, "I know your life wasn't painted on the right canvas, but you still have time to paint your own masterpiece." That was beautiful. Was that something that, was that impromptu or was that something that was actually in the script? Because that's a beautiful scene.
That was in this. I wrote that, like that last scene was very difficult for me to shoot. As Piper and Andre know, it was, we did that, twice? I think we did only 2.
Yeah,
maybe
like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of takes at all.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of takes of that because it was so draining, and I refused to let them to continue to do it over and over again because I feel like it was gonna lose momentum. But anyway, that when I was writing that part, I really I don't know where it came from, honestly. I was just typing, and then if I were to say to myself, in the midst of a breakdown, what would I say to myself? Or how would I say it to myself? And that's how the line came out.
Awesome. It's beautiful because I have it on a sticky note right now. I'm going to actually put it on my desktop as a reminder. Because that was just so beautiful. I mean, because I had to do a rewind. I'm like, what did he say? When you're connected to the omniverse and when those spiritual messages come in and they can come in through any avenue, you have to just grab them and stuff. So thank you so much for sharing that. Another thing that I love the moments of comedy that you had throughout the film, especially after after Manny came home and his parents was sitting in the living room and they was trying to be nosy and get all in his business. And he was like, look, I just want to go to bed. I just want to just relax and everything. And then when the father asked, can we at least get a name? Baby, when you just said Demetrius. And it's like everything, and then when the music just stopped, it's like the music was going and everything, and then when the music in the background stopped and the way that they looked, I just love that part and stuff. Piper, tell us a little bit about that scene.
Oh, it took me a minute just now. I was like, what scene is that? Oh, well, I just want to also back up to the beautiful moment that you have on your sticky note. We all met each other in that moment. There was no time. I mean, Anthony literally did this thing on a prayer. This was hope, grace, and a prayer.
Less than a prayer.
Yeah,
okay.
we literally ran in and went, hi, who are you? Nice to meet you. And he was like, all right, we have 10 minutes before they kick us out of the house. And here's the beautiful thing about that sticky note moment. Is the beautiful thing about Anthony is what Anthony did know is he knew our stories. There is a vulnerability, when you meet a writer, producer, director, where you want to share a little part of yourself and you don't know why. I'm a completely different generation than everyone in this film, obviously. So all of this communication, this film itself, is something that never would have unfolded in the 60s and 70s.
Absolutely.
The fact that I was able to watch 2 men make love on a screen and it was love.
Yeah.
I mean, for me to get to this stage of my life and go, wow, Harvey Milk won, is miraculous. I mean, I'm a whole nother generation. We were fighting, just for there to be a conversation. For him to be able to layer things like interracial love and same-sex adoption and child sexual abuse and alcoholism, all of these things. We're a generation of, you don't speak about these things.
That's right.
Anything that's going on in your home, and especially as a Black family, you don't air the laundry. What you do is you pour yourself another glass, you cover up the cosmetic, and you let it ride. So that party scene for me was, you know, this was everything I knew. I was like, oh, I know this life. You get a little drunk, you don't listen, but you know exactly what's going on behind closed doors, but you can never bear witness. So I wanted to thank you for bearing witness to that, because the reason that scene was so hard with Andre is my own children were sexually abused by their father, who was a billionaire, and I didn't know. And I went through this entire, and went for to have this thing unfold, and you're trying to hold your life together because you can't comprehend what's happening and the trauma that it causes. And Andre really brought what that trauma causes to the table. And if you've lived it, you would bear witness to every single moment of that, of who he was and how he shelled and how he lost himself and how the world became an unsafe place is so real. And I can say that because I lived it. Now, to the comedic scene at that table, there was something. Well, my favorite moment was Anthony was like, just go up there and wash some dishes. And all I thought was, Hunty, if that had happened in my house in 1975, those dishes would have been broken to sink. But I loved it. I loved it because the thing I loved the most about that moment and what Anthony wrote there was it was clear that the mother knew. A mother knows everything down to the cell of her baby. A mother But it was when you live in such denial that you can't confront anything sitting at the table with you. You can't confront the abuse and you can't confront what happened to your seed. I love that he wrote it so simply that she's trying to find a way to keep herself in the illusion. And how do I, because if I bear witness to what's real right now, my whole world's gonna fall apart. So I love that he wrote just that racking of brain to find a female Demetrius somewhere in the world, and to stay in the lie. And I to me, Anthony, the best line was, "Oh, I have a female
cousin."
Hunty had to go back. That female cousin was probably a third cousin once removed.
Right.
I didn't need a star in an album at grandma's house. But I love the fact that Anthony knew to have that character search whatever that character had to search. To find a way to stay in that deception. And that was simple and it was brilliant, Anthony.
Yes, awesome. Keeping with that momentum, another comedic moment that I love, getting back to Tom and Rodney's characters with the parents, when Jeremiah came, you know, of course, he had his experienced his first heartbreak. And you always wondering what was going on. And Rodney, I'm going to tell you, baby, you acted like the traditional Black mother. Oh, wait a minute, who is coming up in here acting like he paying some bills? Wait a minute. I had a fit. I said, that don't sound like my mama.
Okay. Come here slamming doors like he paying bills.
Okay. And I love the fact that, you know, you saw both the dynamics between you two's relationship because of the fact that, you know, one was kind of a little bit more reserved and stuff. And of course, you was just out there. Your character was out there and stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get my knife. Hold up. Somebody done hurt my baby. And I love how real that was. And I also loved how real it was when Jeremiah's character was questioning his experience and everything like that, and how, you know, the dynamic between you two in explaining that and everything. And it's like y'all also knew when to cut it off. It's like, wait a minute, too much and stuff. So talk about that experience of with that particular scene right there from you two.
Well, it was a very delicate scene to do. I mean, if you look at this moment in Jeremiah's character's life, I mean, you have to handle this so carefully, and you have to handle it with love and compassion. I mean, he's bearing his soul to us really, truly for the first time. And we've, of course, done our best to raise him up to this point. But how we handle that particular situation is key. And it, you know, if we do it wrong, we can scar him for the rest of his life. So it's such a powerful scene, and it's got so much in it. And I absolutely love that scene. And I love all three of those characters. the way Anthony created that, it's this magical moment between all of them. And we do try to cross various lines with some humor in it. And we got the wine. We're drinking the wine at the same time as we try to absorb this. I mean, there's a few things that we kind of added to kind of, not make it so dark and stark and all that. But I do love that scene. It's a brilliant scene. Go ahead, Rodney. You step in, please.
Tom, first of all, you have to tell them about what words you learned that night.
You want me to tell that story? Okay. Yeah. So there's this line that I've got in this scene, and it's whoop, there it is.
Oh.
And so the backstory on that is when I delivered that line, I didn't remember that song at all.
Oh.
I mean, I had no memory of it. So I did the first take, and I delivered it exactly as Anthony wrote it, and I said, woof. There it is. And he said, Tom, actually, I need you to kind of do it like the song. And I said, okay, you guys, you're going to have to help me out here. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember. So they all kind of coached me on this. And I couldn't stop laughing. So I finally kind of did it phonetically. I was like, oh, this is like, whoop, there it is. So it's like dare, it's like a D. It's not there, it's there. So to anybody who watches the film, I hope that I delivered whoop, there it is. I got a second, whoop, there it is.
You got it.
I did it properly.
You got it.
I did my best.
You got it.
You ended up doing it perfectly.
Right.
It was so fun. But
I did remember the song a couple days later. I'm like, oh yeah. I remember the video. I remember it now. And it was this big phrase. Everybody was doing it. Like I blanked at the time. But they all coached me through it. So thanks, guys.
It says Ruth there.
But I mean, for me, I don't drink or smoke, and I think we had wine, so I was.
Rodney.
We did a few takes.
Listen, I was drunk. Okay, I was a little tipsy because I don't drink at all. But in all honesty, like Tom said, there was some meaning behind it, and then we tried to bring the comic to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a very dark, and it was a serious situation because he had legitimate questions and he was questioning us, like, who's, what do you guys do and all that stuff. We're like, you know what I'm saying? So it was all those because what people don't know, like even to piggyback on Piper, I had just met Tom that day.
That's right.
And the natural chemistry just sort of, when as an actor, when you're getting stuff, obviously we had to feel and look like a real couple. And, and I think Tom and I maybe talked a little bit. We, met each other and talked, but it kind of was like a natural thing. And we just naturally understood what the characters was about and what that scene would mean and how we had to portray it. So it was, the comic part was, that was easy for me. I just, I did natural things. And Anthony allowed that. But the story itself, it did have some meaning behind it. And we definitely want to get that point across.
Wonderful. I know we got about 5 more minutes, so I want to actually get back to Jeremiah and Andre. And once again, want to give shout out to Anthony for the visuals, baby. The artistic nude scenes. I mean, even the steamy scenes, baby. I'm just going to let you know. I'm just going to let you know, honey. I mean, I'm like, okay.
But listen, and I don't know why me and Tom ain't kiss. Tom, you want to kiss me.
I was going to speak up, and I was going to say, I don't know why Rodney and I didn't get a scene like Jeremiah.
Okay.
I don't understand. I mean,
but
doesn't everybody want to see that?
But you know what? I was very close to when we were doing that scene. I was staying so close to Tom. I started to just turn around and go.
Rodney, you are so stupid.
Oh my God!
I just love it. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it.
But I will say, what I will say, going back to the scenes, I said this all the time, and I want to thank Jeremiah for like really being open to exploring this, because I know he had a level of uncomfortability because we had conversations, because he's never done anything like this. And the fact that he was willing, he listened, he said, okay, let's do this. And he just went, it just came, it gave it so much more authenticity to the scene. So, and I just want to continuously thank him for allowing me to showcase that in this project.
I want to thank him too. I mean, because thank you so much, Jeremiah, for trusting the process.
The thing is,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
He was like, "It's gonna be super quick." I was like, "All right," because it was a little uncomfortable. But I'm sitting there on top of him, and then Anthony comes up. He's like, "You sure you're cool?" I'm like, "Can we just start like rolling so we can get this like, you know, I hear all these questions like."
No, you're right. He's trying to rush the scene through.
But you know what? Let me just say this right quick. And not to bring Noah's Ark in it, but Greg, the guy who played my boyfriend, it was the same exact. He was always like, "Okay, can we move on with the scene? Can we get it done?" It's so funny because they're not comfortable, and I totally get what Anthony's saying. And Jeremiah, I say kudos, because I totally get it, because it is an uncomfortable thing for guys like that in a lot of ways. And Greg was like that all the time. Can we hurry up? Can we just do it in one take? Right. And I would always say, we actually need to do it again.
Mess.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Andre, kind of give us a little bit, you know, as we get ready to close out, kind of give us a little bit about your take, not just of the artistic nude scenes and stuff, but just your overall take of the presentation. Because like I said, the love scene, like I said, you know, it's like, you know, love at first sight, that the way it was presented was like that. And then, you know, Anthony, I love the way that you all directed and edited the scene, because at one point you're thinking that you all actually made love. Come to find out, y'all was just dreaming. So y'all really took us for a loop on that part. So kind of talk about that, Andre. You and Jeremiah can participate in that if you want to.
I mean, for me, like, I love the artistic spin that Anthony put on it. You know, I love, even going back to the comedy that you were talking about, all of that made it a little bit more digestible for maybe people who aren't open to these type of subjects or what have you, know, bringing some comedy in it, but still rooting it in truth, rooting it in a real message, you know, speaks loudly. And I think that that's what people are seeing through this film. I mean, also just shout out to Anthony for great casting, because on such a short, you know, turnaround. I mean, we did this, maybe a week, 2 weeks, in Arizona, LA. You know, he hired people, actors who are professionals, who commit. You know, even though Jeremiah is straight, he never made me feel uncomfortable, even though he might have been uncomfortable in the scene. Like, I didn't know. We just went for it. We did it. We committed, and we kept it going because we were doing our jobs, just telling the story. You know, and that's really what it's about at the end of the day. You know, letting this story reach other people. I've had so many people reach out to me, like within the last 2 months, 3 months since it's been out, you know, saying something similar has happened to them or how they relate to the character. And to me, that means the world to me. That's why I act. I want to help other people, because acting for me has been therapy. And so I want to be able to give that back to other people. You know, let them know that they're not alone. Let them know that, you know, I see you. We see each other.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, tell us a little bit about, what do you take away from this project, you being an actual straight actor and stuff and playing an actual gay role? So tell us a little bit about, you know, your experience, and what do you take away from this project?
My experience was actually, I had a really good time, because everyone between all the actors and people that he brought in, everyone was like, it was all good energy. There's no like, oh, you have to do this, or there's no like pressure to do anything. And my character is a very loving person, and that's how I am as well. So I basically just got to be myself, just as a gay man throughout my life. I don't know, I would just say connection, you know. Also, it's like, I don't know how to really answer that question. You stumped me. Can you ask me one more time?
Yeah, I don't know if you experienced any fanfare as a result of seeing this movie, but like I said,
Oh,
trust me, it's gonna
yeah,
grow.
100%. No, I have a whole bunch of people in my DMs, like so many. Right now, just saying this, that, and fourth. And honestly, I love every single one of them because they're so like positive, and a lot of them are really like straightforward and be like, "Hey, but what?" You know what I'm saying some things that I don't really want to hear. But other ones are just like, very grateful, and I really appreciate that, and I'm really happy that I was there and given the opportunity to help a lot of people that needed the help, that aren't getting the say from all these other things just because no one's really talking about it as much as it should be talked about.
I think, Anthony has created some characters that are just so real and believable. And that sounds so simple and obvious to say out loud. And we kind of expect that all movies will do that, but all movies don't necessarily do that. So I think that's kind of the power of what he's done in this little indie film is create these characters and share them with us.
And remind us that fathers show up.
Yes.
It's another, you have so many layered conversations in your film, in your script. This isn't just a script about, it's also about and about and about and about. And one of the most beautiful things is that fathers show up and that young men feel compelled that if you have good parenting, you can have a transparent, open heart. Jeremiah's character was so open. Parents, all fathers. I mean, it was very beautiful. It was very. I feel like without us actually getting to know you, Anthony, that we got to know you, because I think that you spilled seeds of you. That this is what's rooting in people's heart. So thank you for what we don't know, but what you shared in your precious the sanctuary of who you are, because we felt you. We felt you.
Thank you all so much. I want to give a shout out to all of the cast for being a part of this live Q&A, because I know we really have to stop and everything. But yeah, this has been a wonderful, awesome movie. Once again, for more information about this film and how you can continue to support it, Anthony, tell us how people can actually follow information about the film.
Yeah, the film is on Amazon. The film is on As I Am is on Amazon. As I Am is on iTunes, and it's on our streaming platform, Ventu.tv. You can follow it on Instagram, As I Am Movie. You can follow it on Facebook, As I Am Movie on Facebook as well. So, yeah.
All right, then. Anthony, once again, thank you so much. Of course, we want to connect right after this live is done. To everybody that was a part of the film, thank you all so much for bringing forth awesome characters, and you all really did your job. You did your thing. Okay. And for those people who are viewing once more and again, the festival is not over yet. So continue to watch, continue to follow www.outonfilm.org for more information, since we're in the last weekend of the 33rd annual Atlanta's largest LGBT film festival. Once again, thank you all so much. We look forward to seeing you soon. Craig, back to you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you next.